What's up YouTube, PokePrimer here, primarily to deliver you an update on the EBL with some unplanned free agency transactions. So I was really happy with how the team was before. Very, very happy. I had no complaints. But the commissioner of the league, which it's perfectly fine. I see nothing wrong with this. This is not a problem. I'm not upset about it. It happens. He had overlooked during the draft and everything. I'm assuming it was a very fast-paced kind of thing. They just got it done and got it over with, and things can slip. That Haunter is not a tier 2 mon. It is in fact a tier 1 mon, which I in hindsight, I probably should have been able to figure that out due to the fact that just between its special attack and its speed, it's already sitting at 220, and then you're adding in another set of 50s, and you're adding in another 100 between the 55, 45, and defense. Yeah, so I should have been able to notice that. I should have noticed it, honestly, but, it's a mistake that I made. It happened. We both made it. I didn't notice it either, so it's whatever. But due to that, my team then was out of place, because that would give me a second tier 1, which would have to go in my free picks. Bringing one of my tier 2 mons in my free picks. I believe they moved Floette up to my tier 2 pick in my actual draft. And giving me minus 30 points, I believe, to work with when it comes to free picks. I believe it was minus 30 that I was sitting at. And some minus something in my Z points, because I had Haunter and I had Torchic as my Z users, which is a tier 1 in this case and a tier 3, which doesn't work out. So, obviously I don't want to get rid of Haunter. Haunter is a very potent offensive threat for my team. It's the fastest mon on my team, and my team benefits so much from having it there. So I went with the other options. I was like, all right, I'll downgrade one of my tier 3s. Well, going through all my tier 3s and looking at the things that I've brought so far in the first 2 weeks and looking at potential future team matchups, out of all of my tier 3 mons, if I had to, I'm not getting rid of Slowpoke. Slowpoke is too good. It's too good of a wall, too bulky, too great. I can't justify getting rid of Slowpoke. Honedge, even though I do have another ghost type here in Haunter, the priority that Honedge provides me, plus its overall bulk with the Eviolite and different setup options. I mean, I've already run both Autotomize and SD, and both different times it's been a successful mon for the team. So obviously I can't just justify getting rid of that. So looking at all of what I have, the best case scenario was getting rid of Torchic. I haven't brought Torchic. The speed boost is nice, but it's so slow initially that I need more than one speed boost to outspeed certain threats on certain teams. And honestly, it's just not worth it. It's not worth the bring most weeks. Even as a fire type, it's not that great. It's not going to really do much damage, even if I get the speed boosts up, or I get it set up in some manner. So I decided that Torchic was the most viable mon to get rid of on the team. So, in replacement of that, I was looking through what was remaining of tier 4, and it's abysmal. All of the good things in tier 4, obviously, were drafted already, or picked up from free agency with replacements and such. Every good mon in tier 4 for the most part had been taken. So I was stretching bottom of the barrel, and you know what? I asked him how many other transactions I had available, which I have 3. I had 3 total transactions available for me. I used 2 of them today, by the way. After this does not count as a transaction. This is for free because he made a mistake, so I'm just writing the mistake. But I actually grab here Racing Stripes the Blitzel, who's going to be my new Z user in replacement of Torchic, because now I have a tier 1 and a tier 4 Z user, so that's cool. Racing Stripes the Blitzel. What can I say about Blitzel? First of all, base 60 and 50 in offensive stats, while they're not great, that's not great by any stretch of terms, in a league like this, that's not bad. It's slightly worse than Torchic, and so Torchic was 60 and 70, but what Blitzel provides me is a lot more speed for a tier 4, base 76. It provides me more momentum grabbing with a slightly faster Volt Switcher than what I had before. It provides me decent coverage on both the special and physical sides. Flame Charge for potential setup. It's an okay Z user. Has a few different unique options that I can use for Z moves. From a few niche tech Z moves I can definitely work with. It's got some options. Definitely got some options. So I am definitely looking forward to giving this thing a shot. And I think it can do some good work for our team. I think in the right scenarios it'll do well. Also, it has provides my team with some decent immunities, which is really great. It provides it an electric immunity, not just a resistance and immunity, with both Lightning Rod or Motor Drive, which is really great, as well as also providing me a potential grass immunity. If my opponent has a really scary grass type that I don't want to deal with, I can just run Sap Sip or Blitzel and we're good to go. So this thing just provides me a much better mon overall, plus with the ability to also use Eviolite instead of Z moves, this thing is just solid. It's just very solid, so I'm really happy with this. But this leaves a few things on my team that I don't like. I now have two fast electric types, problem, and now I don't have a fire type, double problem. So first and foremost, I need my fire type. So looking through my team, I'm thinking what mons I've brought so far, what mons I feel will be most useful in the future, and I'm looking at Floette, I'm looking at Staravia. Obviously those are going to be useful in the future. I'm looking at Slowpoke and Honedge. Obviously, I'm going to be able to use those very effectively. Shroomish, he ain't the best, but goddamn it, there's nothing left in Tier 4, really. And if I had to pick Grass type to have on the team, it's going to be Shroomish, and I like having Shroomish there just as a potential option. So I'm really boiling everything down, and honestly, with Haunter staying on the team as an offensive and disgustingly powerful poison type, I decided that I was never going to bring Poipole. Now, I know what you're thinking. Yes, Poipole is a beast-boosting, crazy monster, but in this league, it cannot use Eviolite. The reason why it's so scary in lower tiers with potential beast boost sweeping, which it's not even that scary, it's really easy to stop in the lower tiers. It was proven very clearly in when Joey Pokeyame did his showcase of Poipole in the lower tiers. Like, it's nowhere near as good. He struggled to get a sweep with Poipole, which is saying something. If he, of all people, is struggling to get a sweep with this mon, maybe this mon's just not meant to sweep in low tiers. And that's with Eviolite. With Eviolite, this thing's a little bit better because, you know, that 67 in both its defenses becomes pretty threatening, and its solid poison typing is pretty good. But it doesn't have all the perks that Naganadel does, of being ridiculously strong initially and just being able to click moves and break through things. It doesn't have that option, especially in a league like this. It's not that good. So I recognize this, and I know that I will never bring Poipole. Ever. I came to the conclusion I'm not going to bring Poipole. If I have Haunter sitting there and I can click poison moves with Haunter to kill things that I need a poison type to kill, I'm clicking Haunter every time. And this thing doesn't even provide me much more coverage outside of that. It gets Dragon Pulse, which, yeah, I don't have a Dragon type on my team, but I also have a Fairy type which can kill dragons. I have plenty of ways of getting past dragons. I've proven it 2 weeks in a row already. Or, well, not 2 weeks in a row, but I've proven it before that I can break through a dragon in this league. I beat the Fracture a few weeks ago. It's not like I have to have a dragon type for this team to be good. So outside of that, and like potential like nasty plot setup or whatever, this thing doesn't provide me much. Like, its move pool is dense. I don't know why. Obviously, the only reason it's a tier 1 is because of its stat total. I don't know why this went round 1 at all. It's not a good Pokemon, even in this format. So, dropped this thing for sure. I almost considered dropping it initially, but I was like, hey, having it on the team might be interesting, might see what I can do with it. But every week when I'm going through the matchup, even if like it looks okay, I'm much rather grab Haunter. So I dropped this thing, and I'm looking at my team, and I'm like, fire type. What's left fire type wise? And immediately one stood out, and I'm just like, I'm gonna do it. We got Bacon Bits. Bacon Bits the Pig Knight. Bacon Bits is a very great Pokemon, because with base 90 HP, these defensive stats aren't even bad anymore. It's very solid, even without Eviolite. Add in the fact that this mon gets Thick Fat. I am the ultimate ice resist. I resist ice like 8 times or something with this mon, because I think fighting does resist, fire resists, and whatchamacallit, and then with Thick Fat or something like that. I don't remember all my resistances entirely off the top of my head. Sometimes I have to look things up, but I resist. I'm the ultimate fire type / ice type wall with this mon, and I can break through the ice types with my fighting typing. I did not have a fighting type before, which is really nice as well, so now I have that as an option. This thing hits like a truck with the 93 attack, and also having access to 70 special attack isn't bad either. You have things like Head Smash, Flare Blitz, stuff like that, just to break through mons. It's unfortunate that this mon doesn't get Reckless as well as its like older half, but that's not even that bad though. Like Brick Break, we got Superpower, Stomping Tantrum. We don't get Earthquake on, unfortunately, but that's fine. Stomping Tantrum's basically Earthquake. We have Poison Jab, Rock Slide, Stone Edge, Thunder Punch, Wild Charge. Like, this is a strong ass mon. Like, it's a really, really good Pokemon to have on the team, and I'm really, really happy to have Pig Knight. Like, Pig Knight's actually kind of cool. Like, it has some... It's definitely a very different mon to have, but it's also something that I could definitely see putting in a lot of work for our team. Plus, it fills that necessary role, that necessary fire-type role that I needed, because Torchic was not going to be coming a lot of times, because it either couldn't take the hits or couldn't do anything out, like, offensively that, couldn't do anything offensively even if it were to get set up a bit. Like, if I could get set up with a Swords Dance or something, like, it still was going to be stopped, because it's not a good Pokemon. So, that problem is solved. We have our Fire type, and now we have a Fighting type on top of that, which is even better. We filled 2 roles with 1 mon that we didn't have at this point. So, that's really, really great. We haven't lost anything so far in this mess. We haven't lost anything. And we're going to continue to not lose something. Now, we did just get a new Fast Electric type, which means Helioptile is on the chopping block. And I know I said that, like, there wasn't much available in Tier 4. I meant that more so in the fact that there wasn't much available that I would have wanted as a potential Z user. And I wasn't going to switch my Z user to Pineco or this mon because it just didn't feel right. So, I mean, Blitzel was just the best option that I saw Z user-wise. However, this mon itself provided me another role in a normal type, which is a Ghost Immunity. Which is always very important to have on a team. Very, very important overall. Now, with that being said, I looked exclusively at what normal types were remaining in Tier 4. And one stood out that I wasn't expecting to see there, but it was, and that is Meowth. That's right. That's right, the Meowth. Oh boy, Meowth. Now, what are a few things that Meowth provides me? 1, base 90 speed. This thing is so fucking fast for a Tier 4. Holy shit. If its other stats weren't complete dog shit ass, it would be ridiculous. But in a league like this thing's amazing. Because, let's look at all the potential things it can do for us. Alright, first of all, base 90 speed, fast. Technician ability, great. Just great. Just so great. I love this. Right? Good. Base 45 and 40 in its offensive stats, not great, right? Well, with Technician, that doesn't matter as much. Technician with a boosting item, Technician, Fake Out. Technician, Stab, Life Orb, Fake Out. Damage. Fucking damage. Technician, Stab, Fury Swipes. Where's Fury Swipes? Technician, Stab, Fury Swipes. Do I need to say more? I'm kidding. No, this thing's solid. This thing's really, really solid. Technician, Assurance. Technician, Bite. Come on. It's there. Technician, Aerial Ace. It's right there. This gives me another U-turn grabber on the team, or another momentum grabber on the team. Because, like, if we look quickly at the squad, if I can pull up the squad, fuck. If we look quickly at the squad, let me just go back to the team builder over here. If we look quickly at the squad, doesn't have U-turn or Volt Switch, 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 had Volt Switch, got replaced, doesn't have U-turn or Volt Switch, doesn't have U-turn or Volt Switch, has U-turn, doesn't have U-turn or Volt Switch, doesn't have U-turn or Volt Switch. We don't have much momentum grabbing on this team at all. We don't have much at all. So, it's good now that we can actually have some more momentum grabbing in Meowth, which is nice. So we have a U-turner. This thing also gets things like Gunk Shot. It gets Foul Play if I need that particularly. But it gets Knockoff. It's another knockoff user for the team, which is really useful. It gets Nasty Plot, and it actually has a few interesting special moves that I could actually potentially run on it. Obviously, Technician, Hidden Power. We scroll all the way down. We got things like Water Pulse down here. We got Thief. Thief is cute. Thief is cute as fuck. I'm down for Thief. We got Shockwave. I believe this thing also does, in fact, get Icy Wind. Yeah, Icy Wind, Technician, Icy Wind. Like, this Mon is actually really, really diverse, really solid. I can't really find too many issues with having Meowth on the team now. I think it actually benefits our team greatly. And can do a lot of work for us. So, that'll be it for this one, guys. I wasn't planning on having to make a video like this, but hey, what can you do? Shit happens. But let me know what you guys think about our free agency transactions. Let me know what you guys think about the new Mons on the squad. And if you guys have enjoyed this, make sure to leave a like down below and subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, I'm PokePrimer, signing